So, Professor Kuroda, you are one of the best specialists of Asian history and Asian monetary history. We are just now after the conference in Madrid. What can you tell us about monetary history in Asia, in China, in Japan, and especially in relation with our Damin program on silver?
Yes, perhaps we have to separate the long-term perspective and the another relatively short-time perspective relating to 19th century, because we focus on 19th century. From the longer viewpoint, the China use silver only by weight. In other words, they never minted coinage. The silver always used by weight, and Japan, Korea, and Vietnam also follow Chinese way. So the silver is silver, and they were used as money. But there is a big difference between Chinese and the surrounding region and the rest of the world. The rest of the world, basically silver was used by the coinage, while Chinese and surrounding country used silver, and until late 19th century, the usage by weight was kept. But gradually, it was changed through 19th century. This is the long-term viewpoint. But another point is, in spite of that, 19th century was the period of the silver coinage coming from Mexico. The Mexican silver dollar, from the mid-19th century to late 19th century, even early 20th century, dominate interregional and even international trade across East Asia and Southeast Asia. And this Mexican dollar become very important in settlement of foreign trade across East Asia. So this is the system almost dominating the East Asian trade until the end of 19th century. And there is possibility different from the system depending on gold standard. With the mediation by silver dollar coming from Mexico, it works very neutrally across East Asia. It works for the settlement of international trade, while as long as the very local trade is concerned, a lot of variety of local currency remain to circulate. Thus, the double structure, the local currency traditionally circulate remains to work, while international trade or interregional trade was facilitated, mediated by silver dollar coming from outside. This system remained to work very strongly until the end of the 19th century. This is a counterpart of the gold standard system.
Yes, this is one of the characteristics and perhaps the best characteristic of China's system, this abundance of silver in cc's or in ingots. But do you think it would be possible one day to have some estimation of silver monetary stock in Asia, especially in China? Mm-hmm. Because one of the questions is to understand if China imported or exported a lot of silver at this moment. Mm-hmm. Will it be possible one day to have some ideas about the stock?
Nobody knows exactly, but even if China exported silver in exchange for such as opium, I don't think it is not so much amount, so very huge amount. Even they outflow, but it still remain in India or in the rest of Asia. So it never returned to the outside of Asia. So in that case, the amount of silver existence in East Asia, I think, never reduced. And perhaps until 1930s, then the United States, the make governmental purchase, it absorbed the silver across the world. Until then, perhaps Chinese silver, presence of existence of Chinese silver continued to increase.
Mm-hmm. So, if I understand, you think it's a kind of global system, India, China, and the global Asia. And the stock remains the same, more or less, moving from China, going in India, and back to China, perhaps? What?
Yes, so some amount the outflow from China to India, etc. But basically, I think the continuously increase, because it is quite difficult for any silver ingot which already dispersed among individual household. It is not easy to assemble to the treaty port, unless the price of silver extremely appreciated.
So you have participated to 2 conferences in Paris and Madrid. Can you tell us 1 or 2 words about these conferences, and what do you think about these meetings?
Oh, it's very nice because they organize the specialists across the world, and also it covers from the ancient, like a Roman Empire, to the very contemporary, in the early 20th century. So we can. This is the subject is the depreciation of silver, the late 19th century, but we can locate the change through the very long term, the history, and also this subject, depreciation of silver, was very important, not just the European the transformation of monetary system, but it's also very important from the viewpoint of global monetary change.
And now, can you tell us some words about your actual researches on monetary history?
Mine?
Yeah.
Yes. As I have insisted the current framework of money is not available to explain what actually happened with money, because we are always taught and believe that a trinity is unit of account and the mean of exchange or currency and the store of value. They are sold, should be attached together. But actually, history tells us, especially we have many facts we encounter through the conference. The mean of exchange or currency very often detached from unit of account. So this suggests the unit of account and mean of currency is not always attached. Rather, detached situation is more natural. So these facts suggest us, depending on historical facts, we should change, or had better change the basic framework of what is money.
Yeah, so it's a kind of interpretation of heterogeneity of monetary stock. Mm-hmm. Thank you very much, Professor Kuroda, for coming in Paris and to participate at these conferences. And I hope we will meet during the next one in Japan and in Europe. Thank you very much.
My pleasure.